And welcome back to the Captain's Vlog channel. My name is Sean. I'll be your captain for today. And we are back with the continuation from where we left off of the beginner's lore overview guide to the races in Total War Warhammer Trilogy, Warhammer Fantasy. This is the part 2 because we're continuing from where we left off. We are going to be watching the Dark Elves from last episode. So I hope you guys are excited to continue. The Book of Choyer is a really great place for gaining knowledge on Warhammer Fantasy, and I hope you guys will check his channel out. I actually really like how he does his narrations and how he tries to take the entertainment to another level with the way he presents his information. He uses a lot of visuals from the Total Warhammer, and it honestly gives a really good feel for each of the races and the looks, them moving around, them fighting, them interacting with each other. It looks really nice. Sometimes he just uses visuals as well, like still imagery. I highly recommend you check it out, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, let's have a look.
Isolated in their dark and cold continent of Nagaroth, the murderous prowess and cruel wickedness of the Dark Elves knows no equals and bounds. They watch the rest of the world with alert and opportunistic eyes, ever looking for a chance to have vengeance and reclaim what is theirs. When they draw their swords, one thing is bound to happen. Blood will flow, either from their enemies or from their slaves. They rule the cold seas with their mighty black arcs as
Those are arcs, those are ships. They look like they got, oh yeah, they got towers on them. I heard these arcs actually driven by some sort of like sea serpents or sea dragons, I'm not sure. But it kind of reminded me of like, think about it, in One Piece, Boy Hancock's ship has two really big sea serpents pulling it, so it kind of gave me those vibes for a little bit. But yeah, looks pretty huge, man. These guys are pirates, I think. Well, some of them are.
they bring terror to every shore of the world, no matter how distant. It happened that long ago. Malekith tried to take Ulthuan and the title of Phoenix King for himself. But the flames of Azurian rejected him in the ritual, consuming him in pain. He was taken away by his followers to be saved, as Malekith was heavily burned and wounded. He was healed by his mother, the great sorceress Morathi, whose
Damn.
beauty
That's his mom. What?
is unparalleled. After he recovered, his appearance seemed to reflect his dark and foul soul. Now, many years later, they alone bear rule of the mighty Dark Elves, and seek dominion over everyone and everything, especially their hated cousins of Ulthuan. And they march onwards to war, to reclaim what is rightfully theirs.
I'm thinking these Dark Elves have a lot of similarities with the Drukhari from Warhammer 40k, where they enjoy the same kind of things, BDSM, torture kind of stuff, having slaves. One is not as technologically savvy, and this one might be just more magically oriented.
When the Dark Elves march, the world trembles,
Ooh,
for it comes as an army of dread that revels in the boundless joys of battle. A Dark Elf army is something to behold and fear,
That's a Hydra, bro.
for their infantry is versatile and fast,
There's another one! Is that a dragon or a chimera? I think it's a chimera.
and their monsters, fueled by cruelty and malice, know no bound to their savagery. Their repeater crossbows are deadly and rain black bolts against their victims from afar.
Besides this Hydra behind him, I think there's like a two-headed or a head-split dragon. I can't remember the name, but it looked kind of cool.
No matter how well armored.
Or was it actually a black dragon? Oh,
The unfortunate survivors that get captured after every battle or raid are taken away in chains to the far lands of Nagaroth
told ya, slaves.
to work as slaves and never to be seen again. Their martial prowess is mighty, and their warriors are among the best fighters in the world. For every dark elf is highly trained and experienced. When they get their blood flowing after
It is a black dragon.
prolonged battles, their skill gets even better, as they tend to enjoy the art of fighting and get into a state of flow with it. Hydras and other beasts are whipped into battle, and even mighty dragons are not free from being abused into fighting for their
Now-
cruel masters.
Now we know.
Their vast dominion over the seas is imposed by the use of cruel corsairs and black arcs. Entire
Look at that. Towers on the ship, man. Crazy. I can see like an army of people on it. Or is that just decoration? I'm not sure.
strongholds, fighting with the power of dark magic, who are able to fire deep within the sea into land battles, reinforce armies on the go, and even carry uncountable slaves to do the dirty work of the powerful.
Well, this setting is literally on an arc. I actually thought this was in the home turf. I didn't know it was on a freaking arc. They can have battles on the freaking arc. What?
And wicked dark elves. The dark elves now see the state of the world as the perfect opportunity to strike and reclaim their land and have vengeance in the process. Will the dark elves achieve what they have been plotting for hundreds of years? Or will they need to form unlikely alliances to fight even greater enemies?
Went something over there.
From the massive jungle continent
Yes.
of Lastria,
My favorite. My favorite. I like them dinos, man. The lizardfolk.
the lizardmen guard their sacred temples, and they are on a permanent quest of finding and interpreting the long-lost plaques of their race. Clues that point to the world order set many ages ago by the Old Ones, the creators of it all. When the Polar Gate collapsed and the demons crossed over the bridge into the mortal plane, the Slan promptly united their psychic might to seal off the portals in an attempt.
That lizardmen versus Nurgle demons? And is that a lot of change? Damn. Okay. Hey, whoa, I didn't notice. There was a Slan fighting a lot of change. Little details, man. Ooh. Plague Lords. Are those Nurglings? That's a dead raptor. Saurus warriors. Stegodons.
To hold back the coming of chaos. Alas, half of them were crushed by the shattering, mind-breaking force during their colossal effort. The survivors of the initial assault turned to their creators for guidance, only to find them vanished from the planet. The Old Ones had departed, leaving their creations behind and the world to its fate. Through the ages,
Just look at that. Come on. Look at the army of dinos. Lizardmen. Dreadsaurian over there. Is that a Carnosaur? No, that's a troglodyte, I think. That troglodyte. Ah, there's a
as the most
Quattle there. Can't see the
ancient
rest.
of races, they have stood defiant against the encroaching darkness that seems to come for them and the entire world alike. Theirs is the sacred duty of protecting and securing the world against the primordial enemy and to cleanse the taint of chaos
Look at the size of him.
from all the lands.
Oh, Mazda.
The cold-blooded reptilians do not fight for power, territory, or any other petty cause. As the ultimate enemies of the dark gods and the forces of
Rock
chaos,
maybe?
the lizardmen act as a single-minded force of destruction that will stop at nothing to halt the presence of the ruinous powers or any other foe that interferes with the fulfilling of the great plan. Now that the final battle for the world is upon them, they unite as a truly destructive force to be reckoned with. After all, a large portion of the population of their race was spawned for the sole purpose of warfare and violent combat, to protect the world from destruction and erase any threat to the creation.
This is cinematic.
The forces of the lizardmen are formed by diverse species that excel in different abilities. They bear no emotion and are fueled by primal instincts. These cold-blooded killers are by design disciplined and focused creatures that act perfectly as a united force. The lizardmen are the true inheritors of the planet. Their sacred duty is to fulfill the great plans of the mysterious beings known as the Old Ones, and to eradicate all who get in their way. Since they were created, they have been at the forefront of the battle for the world's survival.
Damn.
The Skaven are a malevolent race of rat men that lurk in the shadows and the deepest of tunnels.
I had a video just done like a while back of the Skaven. Had a bit more story in there. It was kind of awesome. So let's just see how much they show here. I feel like the lizardmen section was a little short, but then that's just me. I'm a lizardmen fan. Anyway, let's continue.
They watch, wait, and scheme, biding their time until the moment comes when they will rise up from the bowels of the world and claim the entirety of the surface for themselves. There is no land unspoiled by this foul race, with the sole exception of the enchanted continent of Ulthuan, the inhabitants of which go to extreme measures to maintain the incantation required to avoid such infestation.
And just wanted to mention, one of my viewers actually commented that the reason the Skaven haven't managed to get onto Ulthuan is because Ulthuan is kind of floating, which I find kind of cool. But now the question is, how is the island floating from one question to the other?
It is said that their vast empire stretches for untold miles beneath the earth. Their society is divided into several great clans, each ruled by a powerful Skaven collectively known as the Lords of Decay. Most of the time they are said to fight amongst themselves like the rabid rats they are, but sometimes they set their bickerings aside and wage against other inhabitants of the world. When the rat host goes to battle, they muster the innumerable hordes of the warlord clans and their machines and beasts of battle. Each of the greater clans has its own armaments and foul methods to wage war.
What are they fighting? Is that the pirate Empire Coast? Yeah, the deckhands mob maybe. I don't know.
Clan known as Molder are powerful beastmasters and use magical warpstone to breed and mutate ferocious fighting beasts. Clan Eshin are feared assassins and stealthy murderers. It is said that no one can escape their reach.
Master Splinter.
Clan Scryer are known as warlock engineers, masters of an insane blend of magic and science. Clan Pestilens are also known as the Plague Monks.
Now here's the thing I want to ask. They got plague monks. Does that mean these guys work with Nurgle? Or at least the plague rats? Because it seems very Nurgle oriented when you say plague. I get the horned rat is his own thing. but I figured the ruin side would get their, maybe, I don't know, their power, their whatever from the horn rat. But these guys like kind of sneakily get it from Nurgle, because I heard somewhere that even the Skaven aren't too fond of the plague rats themselves. Because I heard the plague rats actually got started doing this plague stuff after they went to the continent of, was it continent of Lustria or the land of Lustria, and they got infected with a lot of diseases there that made them really hard to survive. And somehow somebody just, one of these rats went into a cave and just either had an epiphany or something spoke to it, and then it just came out with the power of using plague. So I'm not sure what's going on.
They are disciples of disease and initiates of infection. As instructed by their god, the plague monks are dedicated to spreading pestilence and plague amongst the cities of men. There are many warlords amongst the Skaven, cowards all of them, but perhaps there is one who betrays that notion. Queek Head Taker, amongst the beings cited in the Great Book of Grudges, there are few who rival this warlord of Clan Moors, and he fights with vermin blood over the lordship of Karak Eight Peaks. But his ambition knows no limits, and his armies deface the earth. Notable, too, is a leader of Clan Pestilence armies, Lord Skrulk, a blighted being who harms the universe.
That's his face. That's the nose. That's one of his teeth. Eyes are supposed to be somewhere here. That's an ear. Got a horn. Man, it's hard to tell with this picture.
With his mere existence, and his presence defiles the souls of men and beyond. But they are too, perhaps, some of the best inventors amongst all of the races, and their weaponry uses warpstone as fuel and ammo, having devastating effects, rending armor and flesh alike. Monsters are kin to the vermin, and they march together at the tip of a barbed whip and worse.
That's Skaven and Greenskins, man.
Who is the one to tell where the Skaven will surface next? Can a hero rise and contain these foul beings? Or will they drown the world in an unstoppable vermin tide?
Like the game Vermintide.
There was once a time when the ancient kingdom of Nehekara stood as the crown of the human civilization of the world. A golden age when its cities shone with majestic splendor, its armies conquered entire nations, and its kings ruled as living gods among men. But this great realm was razed millennia ago through treachery and sorcery. The living perished in an instant, and the dead rose from their tombs. This is the land of the dead, where mummified kings are cursed to rule in a living death. They feel no fear, they have no mercy, and over the sands of time and death they rule. Kings of empires, thousands of years old, rise again to make true the wishes of nigh-forgotten gods.
That pyramid is floating. This is screaming ancient Necron-looking things, but I guess it's the Necron version of the fantasy side. Freaking Egypt, man. The music when it started gave me like some old Indiana Jones vibes. I don't know why.
Indeed, among the Tomb Kings stand individuals so powerful, so influential in their conquests, that they can be rivaled only by beings such as Sigmar Heldenhammer or Anarion the Phoenix King, and they stand on the annals of time as gods amongst mortals.
Our true king will show them. We do not serve. We rule.
freaking giant mummy statue went Superman on them. Bzzz.
There is no doubt who amongst the undead is the king of kings. When he raises his hand, it is to command the incredibly vast armies of the Tomb Kings, and even mountains crumble beneath his will of iron. Cetra the Imperishable.
Yeah, Sphinx with blade. I got another. It's that giant cat thing. I forgot the names. Kemrian War Sphinx, is it? And they have so many undead.
Great Unifier, Opener of the Way, the undisputed Master of all horizons, Mighty Emperor of the Sands, God Tamer, and owner of 1,000 more titles.
I like the title God Tamer. Look at these guys! Got some monkey head, gorilla head, I don't know, but they're giants. Massive bows.
When the King of Kings goes to war, the world quakes in fear. Long ago, he expanded an empire as far as the sun touched, and he was the greatest king of men. But that time has long ago passed. And now, he is back to reclaim it all. In battle, their warriors march with unrelenting will in the face of everything, ready to take what is rightfully theirs.
Look at the size of the armies.
It is known that the true and outstanding element of any Tomb King army is their constructs. Warriors who long ago were honored to be buried in giant ritualistic statues, who then came to life with their souls. Sphinxes, Ushapti, tomb scorpions, and the dreaded arrow titans crush their enemies as they advance in the field of battle, conquering all in the name of their masters.
Ooh. Cool.
Rising from their sarcophagi, the mummified Tomb Kings possessed the same thirst for conquest that drove them in life, and their innumerable servants are fully devoted to their kings. They now fight to restore their vast empires to its former majesty, striking forth from the desert to reclaim the world of the living.
Alright. Who's next? Vampire Coast. These guys are cool, man. Pirates of the Caribbean vibes.
Located in the eastern shore of the continent of Lustria and facing the
eye.
great ocean,
That's a freaking eye! Wow!
the Vampire Coast has become a place of constant war between the lizardmen and the undead. The pirate king, known as Luther Harkin, has made the coast his domain. The pirate terrorizes the seas in search of new servants to put under his command. His mind is an insane mix of personalities, all blending into each without warning, and sparking the bold and unpredictable actions of the Pirate King, for
His pistol's got wings, man. What the hell?
which he is known for. Under his command, the undead hordes continue to swell their ranks with every passing day, and their quest for power continues. Luther Harkin faces opposition from the lizardmen and other races that inhabit Lustria and the high seas, but armed with a mighty and numerous army, the Pirate King and his followers continue to terrorize the Vampire Coast and the Great Ocean. With every battle won and every temple ravaged, Luther Harkin grows his roots deeper in the realm of the lizardmen, expanding their withering blight through the Vampire Coast and beyond. With time, the lizardmen have pushed back, only to be attacked again by the undead hordes in a war without a visible end. But as the world comes to a conflict of scales never before seen, the forces of the Vampire Coast will have to fight to defend their hard-won territory, and will even have to make unlikely alliances if they are to survive and play a part in the upcoming tribulations. When facing the enemy, the undead hurl themselves into battle like mindless hordes, trying to overrun their foe. However, the mariners' love for their guns carries into their afterlife. The deck gunners are known to use a wide variety of corroded weapons with questionable accuracy. But the sheer power of these long-ranged firearms have killed many overconfident foes. The Depth Guard is an elite infantry of the Vampire Coast. Blood Knight warriors, one and all. They are hand-picked by their masters and given the blood kiss, rather than being simply raised from the dead like zombies. Clad in eldritch armor, they are an unstoppable force on the field of battle, unrelenting in their advance. The high seas, the lands of Lustria and beyond are all for the taking of the Pirate King and the endless hordes of undead.
I am violence.
It is.
I am wrath. I am rage incarnate.
Mankind does not recognize its doom. Not yet. They only hear the drums in the north and know that the end is here. Some will fight. Others will abandon reason, seeking salvation in scripture or the scourge. They are deceived. The Dark Brothers are stronger than ever before, and the gods fade. Only in death will any respite be found.
It is foreseen. Change was inevitable. Masters of manipulation.
Many times have the Dark Gods breached the barrier between the mortal realms and the immaterial. Each time the death toll is greater and the consequences more dire. Now the Dark Gods have breached the barrier of reality again, and their might is
Hang on. Let me see if I can name him.
greater, and the consequences
Scarbrand, right? I think that's Scarbrand.
more dire. Now the Dark
That? Who is this? The two-headed one. The one who was thrown into that pit by Zinch, and he came out with two heads. He can only see the future and the past, but he can't see the present. I forgot his name. I can't remember. It's not coming to me. Tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it.
Gods have breached the barrier of reality again.
This one that I'm not that familiar with. Don't want to waste time. Who's the next one?
And their might
Yeah, I know you. What is his name? Kugat Plaguefather, or something like that. At least I got two. 2 out of 4. The two-headed bird is a fate weaver. Kairos is the fate weaver, I think. I think that's right.
is truly terrible.
A pestilent parade!
Oh, that's right.
Chaos flows raw.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you guys are enjoying the channel and the episodes. And please check out Book of Choyer as well and subscribe to him because he has some really good videos.
Into the world like a giant flood. The living beings that have been lost to the dark powers of chaos are now uncountable, and the great bastions and cities of the world die from within. Blood and fire rains from the sky, announcing that the world has come to an end.
Move aside, and I may grant you a gift rarely bequeathed on my other playthings. A quick and only mildly painful death.
The dark gods are now here to harvest it all, and make the world their own hellish battleground, for their appetites are vast, and their power almighty. Vast storms of magic form randomly into the material world, all-consuming vortexes that devour everything in their path, and birth from the warp abominable creatures that should not exist at all. The legendary Lords of Chaos, terrible manifestations of the dark chaos gods, now walk this world, and they will not stop until everything is ash, until everything is consumed, and they have brought with them a declaration of death to us all. A terrible force has gathered in the north, in numbers beyond measuring, a gathering of darkness like never before. These are the armies of chaos, and they now march against us. A special thanks to all the recent Patreons and the YouTube channel members that have joined us over the last few weeks. Your support enables the channel to keep making videos like these. If you want to join us, you can do so by checking out the link in the description below. We thank you for watching.
Oh man.
Far north of the Empire, in a place where constant blizzards and icy winds blow relentlessly, lies the great bastion of humanity that stands like a rock against the ever-growing tides of chaos. Against the stubborn kislevites, the forces of chaos have clashed again and again in conflicts that have stained the lands and painted rivers red with blood. Each year the northern border is harder to defend.
Kislev, basically Russia in Warhammer Fantasy.
Year the toll of death is greater. But to the Kislevites, this is a price they are willing to pay. The north is their homeland, and if they cannot live there, they will die there.
Steady your hearts, brothers and sisters of Kislev. The motherland protects. Embrace her, and we will see victory!
With the leadership of their Ice Queen, Catherine, the armies of Kislev stand proud and firm, ready to defend their homeland with blood and steel once again. The Queen has mustered all her forces and marches to war in the front lines. The vast power she holds comes from the motherland itself, and she walks mighty as a reincarnation of the first Khan Queen Mishka. But the menace that comes from beyond this time is different. Like a black sea that devours it all, the fire that burns in the hearts of the Kislevites are only dim lights against the encroaching darkness of chaos. Standing as the beacon of humanity, the light fades against what is to come. Before the men of the Empire, before the riders of Bretonnia, and the proud dwarves of the mountains, the Kislevites face first the terrible legions of the dark gods and their demonic creatures that now roam the lands.
Like a
Being
polar bear made of ice that shoots ice beams? What is this, a Pokemon?
Masters of both the cold of winter and the art of warfare, the stubborn Kislevite will clash in the middle of the storm, and by their motherland, they will emerge victorious, or they will die in the snow.
Ogre
The very
Kingdoms.
mountain
Oh, I actually tried to play the Ogre Kingdoms. I kind of messed up the campaign and I was losing bad. Oh.
themselves shake to their core, for even the world itself knows that the end is nigh.
This looks familiar.
The wild and feral creatures that roam the high peaks, and the ones that hide in the darkness of the deepest of caves alike, they are all sensing the shift in the winds, and are becoming more wrathful. Increased volcanic activity can be felt all across the entire mountain range. It is very well known that the mountains of Morn are rife with volcanoes and occasional eruptions, but it seems now that the world is shaking from within. Smoke rises incessantly across the mountains, and the clouds above the lands of the ogres are now dark. Dark whispers and unsettling echoes can be heard over the valleys, and as the creatures increase their attacks to satiate their bloodlust, the ogres are drawn to defend their homeland from the rising tide of chaos. A few tribes have now pledged their allegiance to the dark gods. With promises of food, plunder, and riches, they have abandoned their homes and traveled north, disappearing into the growing storms. The majority of the ogre kingdoms, however, would fight against chaos and any other force that would threaten their existence. Greasus Goldtooth, the over-tyrant of the ogre kingdoms, knows that the time of feasting has ended, that the time for war is now. As the caves collapse and ancient rock formations crumble, as the earth shakes and the volcanoes spit their fire and rage to the sky, the ogres mobilize for war. A great migration has begun for the ogres, and the consequences will be felt by all civilizations of the world.
A bruise this kid here. Now, we're gonna swallow him out,
Fight
chew
all
his
big guys.
eyeballs, and throw his nuts into the fire now. Right, let's get to it!
See how big these ogres are, man. Each one of them, I think, is considered like a large creature.
To the far east of the world, beyond the Dark Lands, across the mountains of Morn, in the vast territories of Grand Cathay, there is a concerning imbalance in the air that can be felt by immortals and all-powerful dragons alike. Throughout history, the lands of Grand Cathay have been attacked on innumerable occasions, damaged, and even sometimes breached. But still, the Great Bastion stands as a powerful vanguard against the forces of the Dark Gods, as
This is basically China in Warhammer Fantasy.
it is constantly maintained and garrisoned by massive armies. But now, even that seems to not be enough to stop the coming storm of death and fire that approaches.
We have suffered enough!
The harmony of the Cathayan way of life is ever present, their forces acting in concert with deadly efficiency to lay
Man, the scenery looks pretty good.
waste to the armies of chaos that constantly assail them. But the calm that characterizes Grand Cathay is facing the greatest of threats, as chaos is ascending like never before, and the creatures from the warp now walk the world, threatening to devour it all. As the drums of war sound across the land, chaos influence grows from within, and the dark armies amass before the Great Bastion. Grand Cathay is bound to face its biggest challenge yet. The defense of the realm, the future of Grand Cathay and the world lies in their hands. The burden is heavy, and the dark portents that choke the land are undeniable. The world is now submerged in a storm of dark magic that flows freely into the mortal planes. The factions that inhabit the world must unite and fight against the encroaching enemy, or else they will be reaped from the earth. Will the might of humanity be able to resist one more time against the forces of chaos? Or will the dark gods and their terrible armies of rage and madness finally succeed in despoiling everything that exists? Immortal Empires is a campaign like no other. The world itself is the massive battlefield on which this cataclysmic war will be fought, as each race contends to reach immortal glory. With so many powerful races and unique factions, each with their own weaponry, legendary lords, mastery of the arcane arts, ways of doing diplomacy, and each pursuing different objectives, who will remain when the burning war for the world is finally over? Who will stand alone as the victor of the Immortal Empires campaign? That is for you to decide.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative Total War cinematic battles and Warhammer Lore videos. A special thank you goes to our Patreon supporters who help us in the making of more content. You can also join Patreon and earn extra perks while supporting the videos to come. Find the link in the description below.
Alright, guys.
Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching.
And that was the episode. One of the shorter episodes, but quite good. Look at the options we got here. Death God Lore, Champions of Chaos. This is the Book of Choyer, by the way. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And let's have a little talk about what we saw. The Dark Elves, we saw their deal. We saw the Lizardmen, my favorite. We saw the Skaven. We saw the Tomb Kings. We saw Vampire Coast and Chaos, Kislev, and Ogre Kingdoms. And we ended it off with Grand Cathay. Not bad. All of these races and all of these factions are in the Total War Warhammer game. At least Total War Warhammer 3 has them all. Just watching this, seeing the army, seeing the scenes, I mean, like the scenery, it just makes me really want to like actually jump in. But you probably need a good machine to run it. I actually haven't tried it on my new laptop. I don't know, really try out the game proper. Because the last time I tried to do it was on a different machine, a PC. I was using the Ogre Kingdoms for a while. Didn't get into a lot of in-battle scenes. I usually did the auto resolve there to save some time because I was time gated back then. Like real life time gated. It looks pretty cool. I want to get back into it. Just watching this really puts me in the mood to get in. Not just play the battle and fight to win, but you can also record what the battle you've had and just replay it if maybe from different angles while the game's going. So you can actually zoom in and really capture some of the nice scenes there. But anyway, that's for another time. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next episode. Again, Book of Choyer, really great videos. Check him out. And if you like the videos you're seeing here for these reactions, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say, or you have some comments, or you have some feedback, or some advice, or 2 cents you want to give about what we watched and what you know about Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, I think that covers it. So, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Peace.